everybody, to breaking news today on Dave Cooper Live, where we bring you the people, the products, and the process helping us all to build it better. As we prepare for the Innovative Housing Showcase happening in Washington, D.C. on the National Mall this week, June 9th through the 11th, which is being presented by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, we are excited to share the stories of those who are making housing more innovative, resilient, and affordable for American families. So please today give a warm welcome to Marquise Kofer of Module and Ahmed Mahil of Luton 3D Printing Technology. The Last Mile Lab is a construction innovation lab as well as a workforce training program. The goal of this space is to create a more diversified, equitable, and inclusive way to build new housing. And Luton designs and manufactures custom large-scale 3D construction printers. We're going to talk about all of this and more today on Dave Cooper Live. But first, we can't do any of it without our sponsors. So let's take a brief moment and thank our sponsors for allowing us to bring you all of these innovative companies with our sponsors. Thanks so much. Stream Modular, the only logistics company you need to transport your mods, pods, and panels. Our friends at Stream Modular are investing $50 million over the next 25 years to build the technology, solutions, and trailers needed to handle and transport the projects of today and meet the demands of tomorrow. Reach out to their team at streammodular.com to discuss your next project. CombiLift is the largest global manufacturer of multi-directional forklifts and straddle carriers, a leader in long load handling solutions, offering a free warehouse and site optimization design service. CombiLift helps companies of all sizes and from every industry maximize the capacity, safety, and efficiency of their warehouse and storage facilities. A big thank you to Paul Short and the team at CombiLift for helping us all to build it better. Visit them at combilift.com. Brave Control Solutions, where offsite manufacturing systems that do more than just improve productivity. They have a unique approach to industrialized construction, a lineup of flexible automation systems specifically designed for the construction industry, empowered by CAD to Fab, and turnkey solutions for 3D volumetric assembly, structural insulated panels, finished wall assemblies, MEP component processing, assembly, kitting, and storage. Learn more at thinkbrave.com. All right. Again, thank you to all of our sponsors for allowing us to bring you all these innovative conversations. And we're going to kick it off with some breaking news. And then we're going to hop into what Module has going on with the Last Mile and what's happening in Washington, D.C. this week, which I will be at on the 8th. So if you're going to be there, hey, let's connect. Hook us up. Let's get together. All right. Let's do it. Let's bring in Ahmed Mahil. Ahmed,
hi,
my friend.
How are you? How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Listen, man, Ahmed, it's Monday. We got great breaking news. It means we got 4 more days in this week to build it better. Like, you know, I love Mondays. Who doesn't love Mondays? Probably half the world, but I love them. How you doing, Ahmed?
I'm doing very well. Mondays are the best.
Yeah. So
new energy. Yeah.
All right. So Ahmed, we had Luton on the show a few months back, and we were talking about the new 3D printing technology. We were talking about the different materials you were working with to help build all around the world. You are now building all around the world, to include right here in the United States. So why don't you give us a quick update on what you have going on, and then let's showcase a couple of the projects you're working on.
Absolutely. It's been a very good month for Luton. We are building right now with Alquist. So Alquist is the company that builds using our materials called Ultimatecrete, which is a proprietary concrete mixture that can work under no matter what is your latitude or altitude, you'll be able to 3D print robust, affordable, and good-looking houses. This project right now is in Muscatine, Iowa, and it consists of 4 houses. You can see the project. The printing is going live. It's one of those moments, where you can feel how far we came as human beings in general. I was telling you the other day, I remember a time when you send a letter and you receive a letter through the post, and it could take a couple of months and you read it.
Right.
Nowadays, if you send your best friend a text message and it didn't respond in 5 minutes, things could get heated.
Yeah.
So it's our the one of the reasons this technology has been taking off so well, that is almost overwhelming, which is a good problem when you are a startup. You want that kind of validation, that kind of market validation. Now, why is this special? This is Alquist 3D. They have built the first owner-occupier house in America. They've gone through many different materials, and for them to choose Luton 3D from Australia, that tells you a lot about the kind of the science that we've put behind this product. This is, yeah, it's true. They're not using our printer because of the time constraints on their project.
Yep.
But we're very glad that we broke the price issue with that kind of concrete mixtures. We had the right price. We had the right. It's sourced from local materials, and we have run a very complex support and operation to make sure that it's up to the code of compliance, up to all the specifications, and so that, yeah, you can see your house coming in front of you live. And I thank the city of Muscatine, of Greater Muscatine, for broadcasting that live. Now with UltimateCrete, it's can get to a strength of up to 4 times what the normal strength that you need. It's extremely eco-friendly. That is to say, we're reducing the amount of cement we use in this kind of mixture significantly. And yet still it looks good like that. And it can get to 12,000, almost to 12,000 PSI in 28 days. There you can see we've tested with our own printing system. And we've designed a mix that can work not only in our system, but in all printers out there. That is, imagine how great it would be if you could go right now to the desktop office and you can buy a printer ink that works on all the desktop printers. That is not there, but we managed to make it for 3D concrete printing. This is something that we are proud of, this partnership. And yeah, stay tuned. We will have way more houses to be printed in Florida as well. Our houses more in Iowa, as well as in other states, and also in Canada, actually.
So 12,000 PSI, we already know that's a watertight concrete mix. So most people understand the traditional home is between 3,500, maybe 2,500 PSI and 5,000 PSI. So you're over double what traditionally is already being built on site.
That is true. You see, with more natural calamities that we expect to take place, we need to build stronger. So this is a house here that's being printed there. Normally with current houses, you need the longevity or the life cycle of the house to be about 50 years.
Yeah.
That house right there in Iowa is for 175 years.
Wow.
So, and that's why we can do it that way. So it's not only faster, stronger and all that, but also over the lifetime of the house, it will become a real shelter that can withstand tornadoes, floods. More importantly, you don't have the issue with mold because there's no starch in concrete like you have in wood or plastic or all that. Yeah.
So let's recap this a little bit. So one, we're having you on the show because there's houses being built right now in Muscatine, and I'll put it up on the screen one more time. This is live, so everybody just know if you want to watch in real time live how homes are 3D printed. Well, the city of Muscatine has decided to live stream. They're taking my job, but that's okay. They're live streaming 3D printed houses being built, and they are using this technology. Now, on top of that, Ahmed, you guys have come up with some proprietary concrete mixes that can be used in anybody's printer anywhere around the world, correct?
Exactly. I mean, we didn't try, Antarctica yet, but we know it could work.
For sure. And last time we had you on, you guys were also working with clay and dirt and mud and everything else to come up with some mixtures for that. So when you get into maybe impoverished areas or third world countries, you can use the natural resources to help people get in houses.
And that's a key. That's a key thing this technology can help with. That you didn't need a lot of logistics or a supply chain to be able to build a proper house.
Right.
It's more about using the local materials. Now, in the United States, that is a developed economy. You can find cement, sand, etc. Thus, you can build with concrete. So it's all in the material science. But let's say you go to another place where they don't have those, or at least to a certain industrial gradation that will make it work. And then we can use mud, bentonite, you name it, and to make sure that it's structurally sound and actually can protect people inside the house. And that's the key thing.
Well, that's it, right? Shelter and safety.
Absolutely.
Which is the key thing. Now, you guys are also working on a material that can be used out of this world, so to speak. Yes?
Absolutely. We're working with the University of New South Wales, and shout out here to Dr. Kate Dunn and Professor Hank Heusler, and as well as Professor Andrew Dempster, the head of the Australian Space Engineering Center at the University of New South Wales. So we're working on something called regolith. Now, us working on that regolith helped us to do things better here on Earth. Because regolith is basically anything you find on the surface of the moon.
Yeah.
And basically to figure out that, to sort it, and to make it into a paste or a certain, let's call it lunarcrete, that can actually protect astronauts or robots or equipment on the surface of the moon. And you can press on the website there. If you can go scroll down a little bit, you'll see construction aerospace. You can learn more. That there is a project we call Project Mika, and that's where we plan. That's our concept of how we intend to we envisage what a lunar colony will be like, and we believe that will help humanity in so many ways that maybe we can't see at this stage, but that's for next generations to figure out. Our job is to facilitate for them to get there easy and to be protected.
There's a lot in the news about UFOs these days. It's making headlines. Does it exist? Does it not exist? Well, listen, I think if we do get to the point where you're in one of those suits standing on another planet, I would like to be invited to be the first guy to live stream it, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. You got that. I'm not sure I'll be on a suit, but if it's our company building that first dwelling or building a dwelling there, you'll get to have a live broadcast from the surface of the moon. Absolutely. But if there are aliens, you got to keep it hush hush. We can't talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. Matt, is there anything else you'd like to let everybody know before we move on to module here?
Oh yeah. Luton is in North America right now, and don't build it. Don't waste your time. Print it. You could have a house turn out in a week or 2 weeks max. Join the future. Thank you, Dave.
Hey, thank you, Ahmed. I appreciate you joining us. Thanks for giving us that update. And man, congratulations on your success. We're really starting to see offsite construction take off. 3D printing is one of those options, and super, super happy and proud for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Dave.
All right. We'll see you, Ahmed. All right. How cool is that? Let's print on the moon or other planets. Dave Cooper. Look for me in a space helmet some near future from now. All right, let's get into it with our next guest. This is our guest for today. This is the guest that's building things different. We've had Brian Gaudio from Module on. Now we're going to have somebody else from Module on. We're going to talk about the Last Mile Lab. Yeah, I said it. Lab that's happening right here in my hometown of Pittsburgh. And we're going to talk about what's happening in Washington, D.C. and what Module is doing at Washington, D.C. Marquise, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Your picture's a little frozen there. Oh, there you go. You're coming in now. Marquise, listen, I love Module. Module's been on the radar for a long time, been doing all kinds of great stuff. You're now part of this team for about a year. Before we get into what you're doing at Module, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time, Marquise. Don't leave out any good stuff from the hospital, or we will have your mother on this show, and it will get quite embarrassing, I am sure. Heck, we'll probably invite your brother too. All right, floor is yours. You got 2 minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, Marquise Kofer, Director of Customer Experience at Module. Really how we got here, my father is a general contractor, and before him, his father was a general contractor. So third generation of tradespeople. So I was pretty much destined to be in this space one way or another. And so, growing up, watching my father run a small business, it's invaluable experience that sort of helped shape me and what my career would be. So I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, do something entrepreneurial and try and have impact. So really trying to have a best of both worlds thing where I can make money and then also do something that I feel like is impactful to society. So first thing I did coming out of school was I joined a startup, another startup out of Pittsburgh called ICOS. Very early on, we didn't have an office. We were a residential leasing service, just a group of people around a table trying to figure it out. That grew quite a bit. We were able to raise a nice bit of money, especially by Pittsburgh standards. And we grew. And while that business ultimately didn't make it and we closed, it allowed a lot of us who were earlier in our career to prove ourselves and accomplish certain things that you wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to do unless you were growing a company really fast. And so when that business didn't work out, mutual friend of Brian and mine ended up connecting us, and things just kind of went from there. But I have a passion for entrepreneurship, kind of always been in the construction space, and then working in Module is a way for me to scratch that itch of entrepreneurship and also making a positive impact. So made a ton of sense.
Hey, listen, once Brian Gaudio gets a hold of you, you're in, man. He's good at that, and he's also good at seeing good talent and smart people and people that he likes to have on his team, because his team's been together for a long time, and that says a whole lot about their culture. So congratulations on joining, right? But not only did you join, you got probably one of the most important, if not the most important, title and job description in the entire company. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing for Module, and then let's jump into the Last Mile Lab and what's happening in DC. Go ahead.
Sure. So title, like I said, Director of Customer Experience. We are a startup, so titles are one thing. What happens on the day-to-day, that can sometimes shift, but primarily what I'm doing is I am the face with our potential customers. So I'm doing a lot of relationship building, a lot of the groundwork of actually talking to people, figuring out their needs, translating that into an offering for them and guiding them through the process, working with us. But then at the same time, right, you can't just focus on getting each person through the process. You have to do that and give yourself the ability to scale. And make some long-lasting policies. So it's a blend of trying to deal with the developers of today and meet them where they're at, while also trying to build a business that's going to sustain itself. Because ultimately, we got to keep the lights on.
Well, and that's it, keeping the lights on. And not only are you developing a business, I mean, you guys are doing the last mile lab. So one, you're not trying, you're building, right? You're building homes. All right. You're working with developers. You're working with end users. And then you decide, well, that's not enough. Let's do something even more than that. And let's create the last mile lab where we can test things, test our own products, bring together the workforce, bring diversity into the workforce, right? Here in Pittsburgh, have a training program. Walk us through all of these different things, because you have a big role in all this.
Yeah. So this was ultimately what ended up, aside from Brian's excellent salesmanship, but this initiative was actually one of the major things why I ultimately decided to walk away from some other things I had going on and join this company. And so the Last Mile Lab, at its core, is three things. It's a production facility where we can build homes. It's also a space where we can do workforce development, and a space where we can do some R&D, research and development. So I'll touch on each of those things. On the building side, pretty simple, right? We're a modular construction company. We build homes off-site, and so this facility is just allowing us to control the means of production, meet our own quality control standards, build things to our own spec, create our own schedules, and really just have autonomy over the production. What's been really cool is working alongside the Trade Institute of Pittsburgh, who's become our workforce partner. And a little bit about them, because they're awesome. Everybody should know who they are. They are a vocational training organization. They work in some life skill stuff, along with masonry and carpentry programming, to get their students trained up. They work with people who have barriers to employment and returning citizens. And so, yeah, if you are not familiar, anyone watching, you should definitely check them out. They're doing awesome work over there. But,
What's their website?
Yeah, I believe it's just here, I'll get it for you.
Yeah, just put it in the private chat. We'll put it up there so people can check them out, because you're absolutely right, man. We got to pay attention to the people that are helping the people get into our industry, helping them succeed, giving them a stepping stone, all of the things that you mentioned. So if you put that in the private chat, we will get a leg up on that. So go. Yep. Didn't mean to stop you there.
Yeah, I dropped the link in there, but yeah, I mean, look, you know how it is. There's a workforce that's aging out in the trades, and somebody has to replace them. Like, the technology's not to the point where
That's right.
We're not ready to have machines build everything. So we need people, and so being able to train this workforce of tomorrow, while also getting homes built, it's a win-win. And then the last piece, is to touch on that, the research and development piece, is module specifically focused on how can we drive energy efficiency and quality while maintaining some level of affordability, right? It's real easy to create this super duper custom, amazing thing that costs an arm and a leg. But what we're trying to do is balance everything together, and being able to test out different products like, HVAC systems or ERVs, or different siding or flooring, insulation. So all types of things that we can use in this facility to try and figure out how can we pull those levers so we can put the best thing out there, the best end product out there.
So with the R&D, how does that actually come into you guys? Like, does somebody just sit there and say, well, here's an idea, let's try it? Or are you getting feedback from projects, from other developers, other manufacturers? How does it work?
Yeah, a combination of both.
Yeah.
And so, if someone has an idea, that's part of what I like about our culture, is if someone has an idea, as long as you present it correctly and show some level of thoughtfulness, we're open ears. But at the same time, we're very diligent in how we're keeping up with our customers. So we like to keep track of what models from our catalog are people interested in and why, so that we can draw some insights on, what programming is the most popular as far as beds to baths. What about the homes themselves are people interested in? And we're just letting the customer feedback sort of drive the way. And, if we're very conscious of when we're talking to folks, we want to hear them. And so people will tell you what they need, what they want. In this kind of position, you just got to be patient enough to not try and sell somebody something. If you just listen, they'll tell you what they need.
Yeah. You know
So
what? That is
working both of those things in there.
sure. I mean, that's the most important thing is listening anytime, you have a customer, right? And let them tell you where they're going and what they want and what's important to them. So, customers, who is your customer?
Yeah. So originally the business was for anyone who was looking to build something because just had to get houses in the ground to prove this thing is real.
That's right.
But now that we've delivered on homes that people can go see, they can walk through them. This is a legit thing. We've started to gravitate towards mission-driven developers. And what I mean by that are folks trying to build affordable projects. And I won't even just toss out affordable because, that means different things to different people. But we work with local community development groups, housing authorities, your typical for-profit developers, nonprofits. But most of the stuff is targeted towards an end user, for lack of a better word, or end home buyer that's about 80% AMI or under. And so that, loosely speaking, is sort of who we are. We found that our offering resonates with, and those are the kind of people we find we're mission aligned. And so it's easy to work with those kind of folks.
Right. And so how does somebody work with you then? So here's your customer, you got a developer, they're interested in, affordable housing, attainable housing, workforce housing, right? All the different nomenclatures we can call housing. And truly what's considered affordable or not versus living in San Francisco versus Central PA, right? They mean different things to different people. How does one get started in this process with Module?
Yeah. So the first step is really just a casual conversation. A lot of people are taken aback, actually, by the way we approach our initial conversations. A lot of people think we're going to court them or try and hit them with a rehearsed sales pitch, but the first step is just a conversation, seeing where you're at, what made you want to reach out, what are your goals. Have you done modular before? So really, it's just a casual conversation, just trying to understand each other and build rapport, allowing them to ask questions about the company. So from there, we'll do that, and then we'll jump into feasibility study. And what I mean by that feasibility study is, can we deliver to the site? Can we get boxes there? Can we do so in a ballpark price range that makes sense for the project? And then are there any other major hurdles that we're going to have to get over to make this project happen? And that's kind of, the first real hurdle or milestone to get through.
Sure.
And if everything's looking good, it's off to the races. And, your typical pre-construction, getting the designs right. We're going to go ahead and, choose all our specs and, different specifications for the interior and exterior stuff. We actually will self-perform as a GC now. And so if folks want us to do that work to be done after delivery, we can do that. But yeah, it's all the typical stuff that you would go through.
Sure.
In a development project from there.
And so, all right. So on the development side, you guys will either do, where you deliver and set the home, or I'm assuming, like you said, you can actually do the complete project and become the general contractor from start to finish, right?
Yep. And so, yeah, we don't have a one size fits all approach. It's really just trying to meet people where they're at. What do
Yeah.
you need in particular? And we're going to try and rally behind that.
Very cool. With the R&D side of this really has me interesting. And as you were talking, I was thinking of something else. Are you guys working on anything specifically right now in the lab that would be cool to share, or that you can share?
I don't think I can share. And I'm not,
Ah,
I hate to be that guy,
that's
but
all right. I understand.
I had to read through our NDA sheet before coming on here just to double check. But yeah, we got
Yep.
a couple things that are cooking that we'll have some case studies out over the summer here
Mhm.
with some of our early findings.
Got it. And so, let me ask another way. Are we talking about, developing methods of construction to build it better, or are we talking about building products, or is it a combination of both in the lab?
So right now, the primary thing has been different materials
Yeah,
uh, and the combination of materials. That's been like the main focal point right now.
sure.
But we got a lot of stuff cooking. But we want to crawl before we walk before we run.
Are you guys only building with wood, or are you incorporating a hybrid approach? Are you doing CLT, mass timber, panels, or is it just
Right,
wood?
and that's what I mean. That's sort of the next iteration. Right
Yeah.
now, we're wood frame 2x6s
Mhm.
is what we're doing, but we're interested in panelized or even some mass timber. It just we're trying to go about it methodically and make sure we're checking all the boxes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So with that said, currently, what's your product portfolio look like? What are you building right now that you can talk about size wise? Is it ADU sizes? Are we doing two-story condos, townhouses, single family, all the above?
Yeah. So really all the above, I guess,
Yeah.
aside from no condos, but we
Yeah.
range from 300 square feet, which actually we're actually sending something down to DC. You have to come check us out for the housing
Yeah.
showcase. I can actually share my screen if that's cool. Can I?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, let's do that.
Should
Sorry,
pop up
just
on
give
my side here. When you're ready, I'll put it on. There it is.
okay. Can you see those photos?
Sure do.
Yeah. So this is what we're sending down to DC actually tomorrow. So I'll be headed down to DC tomorrow. But this is on the smaller side. This is kind of an ADU accessory dwelling unit. If you're not familiar, kind of like,
Mhm.
or backyard home or granny flat or other words, other terms that you hear thrown out there. But this is on the smaller end of what we'll do. And so this is a studio configuration.
Mhm.
Um,
Now
and
that's
we'll go up. Go ahead.
yeah. I was going to ask. So that's on a wood. That's on a wood frame the whole way around.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's sitting on that trailer. The end destination will obviously be we'd sit it down on a foundation, but because we're lugging it around, that's why it's on the trailer there. So folks don't get confused and they see that.
Yep. For sure. All right. And so this is going to be on the mall in Washington, D.C. You got it. You got other photos you want to share, or was that it here? So this is where you're taking it.
Yep.
And
Yep. Yep.
is it on its way now?
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah. 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 Perfect. Perfect. So on the mall in Washington, D.C., why don't you tell us a little bit about what you have going on there personally with that? You're going to be showcasing that unit that you have there, and what are you hoping to get out of it?
Yeah, the main thing is awareness.
Yeah.
You deal with this pretty much every day, but there's this stigma around modular construction for whatever reason. I'd love to try and trace it back and figure out where this came from, but that the construction's shoddy, or it's not built to last, or it's just real cheap looking and feeling.
Yeah.
So the big thing is just awareness, right? Like, I rather show you and have you come see than me talk about it. So it'll be a great opportunity for us and, I think 50 other organizations to just showcase the possibilities of offsite construction and kind of break down that stigma, the negative stigmas that are out there.
Well, and all right. So I've been building modular homes for well over 20 years when it wasn't cool, and now it's just becoming cool, Marquise. And we have a really hard time marketing ourselves in this industry, right? That we have a really hard time marketing ourselves in this industry and kind of pulling it together. And that's a whole nother show to talk about how we're incapable of presenting ourselves better and really reaching out to the public. But again, that takes money too. I think that where we're headed now and where we were is two different places, right? Right now, it is a topic of conversation that's happening around the world. And I think you're at the beginning of a great new beginning with modular or volumetric, whatever we're going to call it, industrialized construction. So I think that's perfect. One of the other things I wanted to ask you about here is, Module 1, the Fannie Mae Sustainable Communities Challenge. Did I get that right this year?
Yep.
Awesome. Tell us about it.
Yeah, sure. And I struggle. I do the same thing, Dave. I have to make sure I'm going to get it right when I try and say the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so another really cool thing. This is actually the first thing I worked on when I joined Module. This was the first project, which was
right.
Our application for this challenge, which was basically trying to find and foster innovation. And what we have an opportunity to do now is take what we're doing in Pittsburgh at our Last Mile Lab and figure out how do we scale that in Pittsburgh, but then also how can we implement a similar model in other places. And so it's really exciting. We have a partnership with Enterprise Community Partners. Thankful to have them on board. And then obviously through the support of Fannie Mae, we're looking at figuring out what would it look like to bring a similar last mile concept, last mile facility to some places in the DMV, specifically Richmond area, and then Prince George's County in Maryland.
Yeah.
And so it's been a great opportunity for us to just connect with workforce training programs in other areas, who are the nonprofits or affordable housing developers in these areas. And yeah, there are tons of people doing great work out there. And now our job is how can we get the right people around the table so that we can bring this model.
Yeah, and that's it, right? How do you get the right people to the table? And I know you guys, and Brian in particular, has been very good with getting the right people to listen and to work with him throughout the years. And I'm sure that's going to continue. So with this, and hopefully the event down in Washington is going to help that. You guys also have an event while you're in Washington, I believe, on the 9th, correct?
Yes.
Building smarter, modern, modular construction. I think it's an Eventbrite thing. I saw something come out on it.
Yeah, so we're having I guess you could call it a Modular 101 kind of training event on the 9th. Really going back to awareness, right? It's for folks who may be familiar or have some level of understanding with modular or offsite construction, volumetric building, whatever you want to call it. Which again, we as an industry, we got to get better. We need to pick something and just roll with it.
Oh, come on the show. We'll talk about it every day. It's a mess. It is a mess.
It kills me. But we're bringing folks together. We're bringing developers together who have an interest, and really just educating folks on what are the differences at each point in the process, and pre-development and pre-construction. What are the differences in construction? What does financing look like? what are some common barriers or hurdles that you should be on the lookout for. And it's going to be a smaller event. We'll probably cap it at about 50, and we got a couple of spots left. But really, it's more of just trying to create dialogue and create positive engagement in education, so that these people who are going to attend can go back to their communities and spread the right kind of information, factual information about the industry, so we can just keep letting people know their options.
Yeah, and it's going to take a lot of word of mouth. It's going to take a lot of people coming together, and hopefully one of these days we'll hit the prime time and it'll be all over the place. So, Marquis, is there anything that we didn't discuss about Module?
No, this was great. I mean, yeah, I think this is an awesome conversation. And, if you want to check out more about the company or see some projects, Dave's doing a good job showing it on the screen there. You go to our website, modulehousing.com. We have a couple of Matterport tours, so you can virtually tour some of our homes. We have a couple of videos that were put out on us recently. One through the Turner Housing Lab, an accelerated program we were a part of. I sent you that YouTube link, Dave. Yep. We were also on Startup TV. PBS put out a nice piece on us, so you can check that out. And if anyone's interested, feel free to reach out. Like, we're always open to a conversation.
Well, and that's it. And I want everybody to realize, as we're looking at these projects, if you can build as much affordability into a house, you can make the home very inexpensive if you try hard enough. But the other side of it too, and we talk about this all the time, we talked about it the other day, is if it's not something beautiful or have some design that people want, it's never going to take off or go anywhere.
Right.
And this is what I love about Module. You guys are putting high design into simple structures. When I say simple, I don't mean simple in design, but just you're keeping it as simple as you can, but maximizing the layouts to be the most efficient based on the research that you've been doing over the last several years. And now with this new last mile lab, you're fine tuning all of that research and just making it better each and every time.
Yeah. I mean, that's a excellent point that we deal with all the time too, is, okay, can we get the price down? It's like, yes, we could, but like at what cost? At what cost? We're not simply competing on dollars and cents. It's
right.
We have this written in our office. Everyone deserves a well-designed space they're proud to call home. We literally have that on a poster in our office, and we live by that. And so I tell people, pretty much a few people every week, of just, hey, I actually don't think we're a good fit. I don't want to waste anybody's time. This is not what you're looking for. Best of luck, because you hit it spot on. The price point isn't the only thing.
Well, it's definitely not, but it is a big thing. But if you can get some high design with the price point by using, like you said, the alternative materials that you're researching within the R&D lab, right? Now you've actually, built a win-win situation for not only Module, but for the customer as well.
Exactly, man. I need to bring you with me, Dave.
We can. Hey, anytime you want to pick my brain, let's do it, man. I've been building modular for over 20 years, and now I have the honor and the privilege to talk about, folks like yourself, Marquis, and Brian, and other companies that are trying to really make a difference, not only in the way we build, but what we do for the generations that come after us, right? And I think that's a big conversation, and it's a tall order to have to tackle, and it's something that I believe in. And quite honestly, I don't see how anybody stick builds anymore, but that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Marquise, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back to you after the outro, so just hang tight. For the rest of you that are out there, you're definitely going to want to join us Wednesday. That's right. Gonzafroni is on the show this Wednesday, and we are going to be talking about a new company that's coming out of the woodworks, so to speak, era. You're not going to want to miss this. This is a brand new concept, brand new idea. I think you're going to love it. And yeah, if you want to know how to spell it, it's A-E-R-A, ERA. So Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm Dave Cooper. It's Monday, so let's keep building it better. Let's have one more word from our sponsors, and then we'll see you this Wednesday. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye now. Stream Modular, the only logistics company you... What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.